All right. Welcome to Superstitions, Traditions, and Definitions. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Carol.
Am I the asshole?
Ooh.
Historical edition.
I don't know. Are we about 50-50 for what we decide? Sometimes yes, sometimes we're on the side of the assholery.
Sometimes you decide it's me that's the asshole.
Yeah, usually. I don't know.
I need to throw another.
It's all that fuckery.
Body part in there somewhere. We've had goat nuts and sleeping under a heart
and biting someone's ear.
And
keeping it in the thing and not being Mike Tyson. Gotcha. Okay.
I need to find another one of those.
Yeah.
Because it's been a minute since I've disgusted you with our historical edition.
Yeah.
And goat nuts.
And Billy.
Baby Billy exists because of those goat nuts.
Fuck you. No.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
You know it. Thank God for goat nuts and Baby Billy's existence.
No. It's stupid. Let's move on.
All right, fine. We'll move on. I think you're going to like this one, though.
Okay. Can't wait.
Am I the asshole for taking pride in my work, utilizing a successful marketing strategy and conversational skills to win a contest, though I was less experienced than the other contestants?
So we're a shyster?
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
Let's hear it.
All right. My family moved to Washington, D.C. in 1861 when I was just 14 from Arkansas. I began working immediately to help support us. I was one of the first women to be employed by the federal government from 1862 to 1864 in the dead letter office.
Interesting.
While I was working for the Postal Service, I met a sculptor named Clark Mills, and by age 17, I was his apprentice.
Okay.
President Lincoln agreed to allow me to make a bust of him. So in 1864, every morning...
Make a bust of him. I thought you said best. Make a best what of him?
The best bust?
Yes.
Okay.
Took me just a second, but I'm caught up.
You're caught up.
I'm caught up. Let's go.
Every morning for 5 months, I met with the president to complete it. I used this bust as a sample of my work to enter a government commission contest to sculpt a full-sized marble statue of Lincoln. There was much debate in Congress regarding my entry. Many believed I was too young, too inexperienced, and far too female to be trusted with such an important task.
Well, okay, something like that. Here it is. You can see it. If it's no damn good, no good. It's not like you're doing surgery and you hope that it turns out for the best. What? Well, they're wondering about her art skills.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody make one. We'll pick the best.
Right.
Silly.
And that's what they did.
And did she win?
Okay. All right. Don't be jumping
We're moving on. Let's go.
Okay. On the Senate floor, it was said by senators that I was too inexperienced because I had never made a statue before, and that I would be a complete failure in the execution of the work. That was a direct quote.
A complete failure.
That a complete failure in the execution of the work was a direct quote from one of the senators.
Interesting.
Thankfully, most of their colleagues disagree, and I was awarded the commission in July of 1866.
Right on.
I was the youngest and first female to ever receive a federal art commission. Many people were concerned with my abilities due to my gender and age, claiming I had seduced members of Congress with my beauty.
Slut. That's what it is. You had to screw around in order to make... This bust is probably just like, real stupid looking. Probably looks like the mailman doesn't, but she, you know, if she can get her way, all right. Gotta hike up that 17 pounds of underwear and get to it.
That's right.
My goodness. Well, I hope she was beautiful for putting up with this crap.
She really was beautiful.
I'm sure.
I wasn't taken seriously by the public until I began my work on the commission and they were able to come in and see.
Did they question whether she was the one really doing the work?
So,
okay, apparently yes.
Okay. First of all,
Mm-hmm.
her parents traveled a lot.
Okay.
She was born in Wisconsin. Her dad was a land surveyor.
Oh, okay.
So,
especially during this time, he would have traveled a lot.
Yeah. So he ends up, when she is younger, in Arkansas.
Okay. Next door.
Yes. While they're living in Arkansas.
Next door to us, not next door to Wisconsin.
Right.
Gotcha. I know the map. Anyway.
While they're living in Arkansas, he has some health issues. He quits being able to survey.
Oh, okay.
At this time, he had sent Vinnie, that lady's name is Vinnie Ream.
Okay.
He had sent her to school in Missouri.
What school?
It was called Christian College.
Gotcha.
While she was there, a lawyer who was a big supporter of the school named James S. Rollins.
Okay.
Took an interest in her work. Knew she had talent.
Gotcha.
He ends up being a congressman. At the same time, mom and dad are struggling to support the family.
Of course.
They move to DC thinking there'll be more opportunities.
Sure, as one would.
When they get to DC, she finds employment and reconnects with James Rollins.
Okay.
Rollins is the one who introduces her to Clark Mills, who was a famous sculptor at the time.
Who she then apprentices for.
Gotcha.
Okay, that was her introduction.
Yes.
Great.
He also arranges for her to sculpt the bust of Lincoln.
Okay.
And it is a fairly well-known fact that something in his presentation to Lincoln, he made it known that the family was poor.
Okay. And Lincoln would have appreciation for that.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. As he came from quite poor conditions.
Yes. That's the only reason. It's fairly common belief that the only reason he allowed her 30 minutes every morning in the Oval Office for 5 months was because she was poor.
Right. Okay.
And she was good at her work, and
she would work
being
hard.
able to sculpt the president is going to be a step up.
It's going to be quite a feather in one's cap.
Correct. So all of this came about because of this one particular congressman.
Gotcha.
While she was sculpting Lincoln, she starts marketing herself and her work.
Interesting.
Like real PR strategies that weren't common at the time.
Okay.
And because of that, kind of made a name for herself. However, this is not something 18-year-old girls do.
No, not genuinely, traditionally.
Right. 18-year-old girls don't get 90% of Congress.
Right.
To vote for
18-year-old girls are married, having children, and things like that.
So
good for her.
Public opinion of her is she's just
quite low, I'm sure.
Yeah, seductress.
Slutty artist.
There's rumors flying this and that way about her sleeping her way to the top, and
well, I guess you don't sleep your way to the middle.
I mean, good for her for that.
Yeah.
However, there's no proof of any of it.
No, and I'm sure it's not true.
Right. There was even newspaper articles while the Senate, it passed the House hands down.
Okay.
Her entry, like it was almost unanimous. We want her.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to the Senate, and there's like actual debates over her merit and her abilities. So she's in the gallery watching.
Does the work not speak for itself You would think so.
You would think so.
You would think so. But she's in the gallery.
Yeah, she's in the gallery, listening to all of
talk.
this, watching all of this. There was newspaper articles who wrote she was sitting up there winking and making faces and blowing kisses and whatever to different.
My goodness, she was a busy girl, wasn't she?
She was a busy girl.
God, if you've got to service all of the Senate, I mean, she's probably still doing it.
Probably.
To this day.
How
sad.
I know.
And stupid.
I know.
And hurtful. And ridiculous. Yeah. But, you know.
She ended up with the commission.
Good for her, despite all of it.
$10,000.
What, back then that
back
would be?
Then
I mean, that $10,000 is a lot of money, but.
Yes. However, she also, so it was typical.
So her family was no longer in poverty.
Correct. It was typical for the sculptors to do the design and make a plaster.
Yes.
And then have marble workers make the statue.
Right. Gotcha.
So then there was speculation or accusations that she didn't actually do any of it herself. She just, but she also had to use her commission to get it done. So she used her commission. She got $5,000 to start.
Okay.
Used it to travel to Europe.
Okay.
Ended up in Italy getting, because you know they were the best of the best as far as marble sculpting.
Marble work.
It cost her $2,000 or $3,000 to pay the sculptors.
Sure.
So
she didn't end up with the $10,000.
Right.
She ended up with about $6,000.
Yeah.
Total.
She had a good time in Europe.
I'll bet so.
She did a lot of shopping.
Marvelous.
She actually ran out of money and did a lot of sculpting
there. To get home.
Basically, yeah, to make us some money.
Awesome. Well, that's clever. Use what you've got.
Right. The interesting thing, also I didn't tell you, Lincoln was assassinated in the midst of her doing.
Oh, I thought you were just telling me he was assassinated.
Oh, I did. I thought you.
I did know that.
Oh, I'm glad you did.
I did know that. I've been to Ford's Theater. I saw.
Oh, okay. All right. So you already knew.
Not when it happened, but you were there. I was there in 8th grade. Yeah.
You were in 8th grade when it happened?
No, I was in 8th grade when I saw Ford's Theater. And his assassination had been long before that.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
Okay.
I missed it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
But while she was in his office,
assassinated.
So like she was heartbroken.
I'll bet she had come to really appreciate him, like him very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
The senator had a good friend who was influential in the Cherokee tribe.
Really?
Which Cherokee Nation is
very big.
Very big. It's also a lot of northeast Oklahoma, which is where we are. There is a town in northeast Oklahoma called Vinita.
I have been there.
Yeah.
That's where they're building that big new amusement park.
The big new amusement park.
We're going to have to go.
We will.
It'll be amazing.
Vinita was named after Vinnie.
Really?
Yes. This girl's name was Vinnie Ream.
And she's got a town.
She's got a town.
Nice. Vinita's where I got lost when I came down here the first time. So Vinita's named after her. So I will always remember that now.
Yeah. Vinita is named after Vinnie Ream. Vinnie,
the sculptor.
The
slutty sculptor.
Did a sculpture of Sequoia.
I was wondering if there was a chief that she had done since you brought that up. Nice.
There, it was a way of honoring her
for her work. Did the Cherokee Nation consider her slutty?
I don't think so.
Just Congress.
And a lot of the population at the time.
Newspaper people when they're telling you what to think. Yeah. She's so winky. Maybe she just had something in her eye.
Perhaps.
Just leave her alone.
There was a scandal while she was working on.
I'm so surprised.
Lincoln's sculpture. She had a room at the Capitol.
Okay.
to do her work. She left it open for people to come in and see. During the impeachment of Andrew Jackson, obviously it was voted down. One of the congressmen who voted against it was staying with her family at the time.
Okay.
And his was the deciding vote. So he voted against it. It didn't happen. Those that were pushing for it were quite angry.
Well, yes, as you would be.
As a form of retaliation, there was a special committee that needed a room to meet in.
Okay.
So they took her room,
Right.
her studio. She did a lot of her work on this sculpture that is still today. It's one of, you see a sculpture of Lincoln in the White House. That's her. She did it.
Sweet.
So they took her, or not the White House, the Capitol building.
Gotcha.
They took her room away, and she did a lot of the work on this in a hallway.
Sure.
That angered newspapers.
I'll bet it did.
Like that,
but I can see, I would do the same thing. I'm like, fine, I'll work out here in the hallway.
Exactly.
Screw you.
They wanted her to move it completely out of the Capitol, and she said, I can't. It's going to break this.
Yeah.
It won't.
We're not moving it. It's not. It won't be supportive.
It's not finished. It's not strong enough.
Gotcha.
Newspapers blasted.
Oh yeah.
The congressman who made the motion to take that room from her.
Okay.
Like that was
her room.
Clearly retaliation.
And petty.
And petty.
Small.
And at this point, she had been open, left her door open. So lots of people were coming in. Everybody was curious about this little 18-year-old kid.
Sure.
So she already had a reputation at being very good at her art.
Sounds like it.
So by this time, when they are taking her room away, she had public supports.
Awesome. Using your connections only gets you so far.
Right.
If you don't have the skill, you're going to fall on your face because they'll look at that and go, man, that does not look. It kind of looks like an apple tree. It doesn't really look like Lincoln. You can come up with all kinds of crap. But that sounds like she had the talent for it.
She did.
And people are jealous of such things.
They are.
Yes.
She was very good. Everybody said, all of the senators who had viewed her bust of Lincoln that she'd submitted for this contest.
Right.
Said it was amazing, except for one. Said, I can't see anything that's exceptional about this.
Okay. Could you make something that looks like
exactly.
This?
Could you do it?
If you can't, then it is exceptional.
Could you do it?
I can write books all day, but I can't paint. I can't sculpt. I can't any of that. So that is all exceptional work to me.
Right.
For sure.
But anyway, it was a neat story.
She's not the asshole to us. She's yet another hero.
She is. So she does this for quite a while. She finishes the sculpture of Lincoln that is in the rotunda of the Capitol in DC.
Okay.
When she was 23.
Oh, wow.
She had done several other sculptures. She entered a couple more contests, didn't win all of them, but won one of them. Sculpted like crazy. Made lots of pretty stuff.
I'll bet.
Meets the love of her life. Gets married.
Gotcha.
And quit sculpting.
Oh.
For a while, for a long time, 20 years. Because
oh my God. She had other
had
crap
more
to do.
Traditional views of a woman's role. And because sculptors and artists like her, she also did some paintings, like her would meet one-on-one and chaperoned oftentimes. She's like, it just looks bad for my wife to be sitting in there with a man.
Well, why don't we have a chaperone? I'm sure you could find one.
I don't know. I'm like, how, I admire people who, men and women both, that can have somebody stay home with the kids when they want to, but it kind of sounds like she didn't want to. She
might have wanted to and wanted to do. She could have sculpted in the living room while her kids played.
Right. And they only have one.
Little people are short. Maybe can't reach it.
I mean, people who have the means to do that now, I admire.
Sure.
People who make things work with both parents working, I admire. But I think it should be
Your
a
choice.
choice, especially when you had the talent she
Right.
had.
And back in the day, that's what
But-
she would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Too bad she didn't like sculpt in quiet and private and just keep her stuff off to the side.
Yeah,
That's 20 years of work that we don't have.
right. I mean, she
That
went
would've been
back
cool.
to it.
Oh, yeah,
she
I'm
did
glad.
get back to it eventually.
Cool.
But there are sculptures all over DC that she's done.
Really? We'll have to look that up.
Mm-hmm. One of them was gifted by the state of Oklahoma. The one of Sequoia.
Sequoia, yeah. Awesome.
So anyway, it was just neat. She was neat.
Yep.
She's
neat,
not
and
she
asshole
was young
by
and
today's standards.
beautiful according to
We're all about it.
everybody, and because of that,
Yep.
nobody cared. Nobody cared how amazing she was at the time. She was just
nobody appreciated Van Gogh. Nobody appreciated
Right.
Monet. Nobody appreciated these people in their time because their artwork was not what you were used to, not the standard of the person that you're used to. If you want to see somebody sculpting this bust of Lincoln, you want to see some old dude who's been to art school and is teaching art and all this. You have an idea of what you want to see, but someone who just has a natural ability, because she didn't go to art school. She just had the natural ability.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand that.
She did while she was in Europe after getting the commission studied with lots of painters and sculptors. And
that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. I'm pretty jealous, but I don't hate her, and I won't say she's slutty because I'm jealous of her.
Right.
I can say, that's awesome. Go get him.
I know it. So, all right. Let us know what you think.
Yes, please.
And be sure to come back on Saturdays for Am I the Asshole?
Right here with us.
For superstitions,
traditions, and definitions. That's where you'll find us. Like and subscribe. I'm Carol.
And I'm still Kristen.
She's still Kristen.
Just like I was at the
all
start.
day long.
All the day. For now.
Bye. I'm not saying it.
You
have to say it.
No. What's
wrong with you?
We'll just say
what's wrong with you.
Subscribe and come back.
Do it. Why are you being a jerk?
Bye.